So let's look how we might use these objects and classes and objects in our Lucky Pizza example. In order to start doing this, we need to decide what data the pizza needs to store. Well, I think it wouldn't take too much effort to work out that it needs to know what type of pizza it is. Might need to know what the extras are, and you don't. I guess you don't have to organize the code in this way. So that there are other ways of doing this, but this is the one that makes sense to me. The pizza object is going to need to know what type it is. Is it a margherita, Napolitana, whatever? What toppings have been chosen for it, and the total price, including all the extras. Okay, so we're going to need a couple of methods. Or these will make things easier. We can get the description of the pizza and we can add an extra topping to the pizza. We could possibly, and there's two ways of doing this, we could provide a pizza.getPrice method to get the price, or we could just use pizza.price if the pizza is storing the price internally. There's arguments about which is the best one. For the moment, I think we'll stick to pizza.price. So, because it saves writing one extra method, right? So here's our pizza class. Okay, we've got the init method. Remember, the init method sort of sets the object up. So in this case, as I said, it needs to know about the type, it needs to know about the price, and it needs to have a list of extras. Well, you can see them all being created there. And I've used the self word here so that they're stored inside the object, so that they're part of the object. The get description, this is very familiar code, but it's now set inside this in this class. So get description, we start off with the type of pizza, so margherita, Napolitana. We set the description of the extras to be an empty string, and then if we loop through those extras, if there's none so far, if the extras description is empty so far, we put with extra. And then the name of the extra, and if it's not, we just put a comma in the name of the extra, and then we add that description of the extras onto the main description of the pizza, and then we return that description. Okay, so that just loops just like we've done before. That loops over all the things in the extras, adding them onto the description. The add extra, what do we need to do there? Okay, well, we just need to add the extra into the list of extras. And this has got a slightly, it's got a slightly nice feature in it. It only adds extras that don't exist. So if you remember, previously we had pizzas that could have extra cheese. This new version can't, because we only add the extra if it's not already in the list of extras. Okay, so we add that to the list of extras, and we add the extra price to the price of the pizza, and then this self.price stores the price of the pizza. He's always recording the price of the pizza. So the Lucky Pizza code now is as follows. Okay, it's very similar to previously. It's just the things I've highlighted are where the changes are. I've done the import slightly differently to the previous example. So import pizza 05 as PZ. So that's just we've done this with several examples previously. So that just gives it a name. So when we say pz.pizza, that's referring to that pizza 05 file. Okay, and we create a pizza object. So a pizza object with the type and the price. So this code above, where we've got the dictionary of different prices types and prices, and the dictionary of different types and prices of extras. That's exactly the same as before. The generating the random pizza is exactly the same as before. Get a random item and get the price. But then we create this pizza with the type and the price, creating the object called pizza. And then we add the extras by, again, deciding we're going to pick between 1 and 3 extras. We generate the extra, a random extra, and we add that to the extra. Just to say, though, remember, the extra only gets added if it's not already in the list of extras, as we saw on the previous slide. So if this loop might pick 3 extras, if they all happen to be cheese, cheese will only get added once, so there will only be 1 extra. So not quite so lucky pizza. And then, just to print it out, we can use pizza.getDescription and pizza.price. So you can see this object now contains all the information about the pizza. We kind of have been able to hide it away inside the class file. So now we can think about the pizza as just being an object that has data about its price, its type, and it's got some methods for getting the description of the pizza and the price, and adding an extra to the pizza. So that I hope you find that simplifies the code. I know we've now got two files. We've got this first one with the pizza, which is perhaps not so simple because it's unfamiliar. But when you get used to it, it starts to make sense. After a little while, you should start to make sense of this, and it will be all perfectly self-explanatory. But this code, I think, is much simpler than previous examples because it's now we don't have to worry about storing all the details in local variables here. We've got them all stored in our pizza object, which is defined by this pizza class. Okay, so what have we seen today? We've seen a motivation for using these classes and objects, which is basically that we're trying to gather things together into something that sort of represents something we might see in real life. So pizza, in real life is a base with some tomato and some cheese on top usually, and then some toppings. We gather that into an object or a class in our file which describes what the pizza type is and what the price of that pizza is, and then we can add extras on the top of it, and that changes the price. So we're gathering that all into one place, and that makes it a nice easy way of modeling things in real life, because once you've built those classes, you can sort of forget about them. You just you know what the methods are they've got, and you know what the data is they store, but you don't have to worry about the interior details of the code. We've seen then three examples there so far. We've looked at Hubbo 2, which just had the ceiling light to sort of get started example, and we were able to add many more things, although we're using a lot of duplicated code, which we will get rid of later. And we saw the hasAttribute function, which is a really useful thing, which looks at an object and checks what it's able to do. Has it got a particular function available, a particular method available? And then we saw the same ideas applied to the pizza. Okay, I hope that made sense, and I'll see you in the tutorial.